What is going on, guys? Briar Rabbit here. Today is Friday. That means Zur is back. This time he is in the reef, in this little section where the door is no longer closed to lock us out. I actually haven't seen the reef since the Festival of the Lost started, and it looks kind of good with all the decorations around. Kind of forgot that the reef was a place. Anyhow, we're going to check out what he's got. I'll give you guys some recommendations as well. Let's start off with the Titan. This week we've got the Taikonaut helmet. The main perk here is air traffic control. All rocket launchers gain tracking. Radar remains visible while zooming with heavy weapons, and weapons and heavy ammo drop more often. In my opinion, that's the only useful part of this, is that heavy ammo drops more often. But Ruin Wings seem to work better, as far as I can tell. So I tend to go with the Ruin Wings. And now with the new raid gauntlets, even Ruin Wings seem useless, to be honest with you. It just doesn't seem like it comes in handy that often. As far as giving all rocket launchers tracking, I could see potentially a use for this if you really wanted to use a rocket launcher that had cluster bombs in PvE, but felt like you needed the tracking. But I don't often feel like that is an efficient use of an exotic. In fact, I never really used the Taikonaut. I think I used them a little bit when I first got them, because in the Taken King, for a very brief amount of time, it was my highest light level helmet, just because of the way that RNG worked out for me. But it really, there's no real reason to use this when you can already get a rocket launcher that has tracking on it. Radar remaining visible while zooming a heavy weapon never comes in handy. So this is really like a wasted exotic, in my opinion. I'd really pass on this unless you want to just collect it for collection's sake. But yeah, I'd definitely pass on the Taikonaut. It comes with increased intellect, increased strength, ashes to assets, heavy lifting, and innervation. Next up for the hunters, we have Young Ahamkara's Spine. Main perk here is Field Trip. Increase trip mine grenade duration and gain an additional trip mine grenade charge. These were a lot better before they nerfed the trip mine grenades so they don't stick to people anymore. But if you like using the trip mine grenades, and people can be pretty crafty with these things, this is definitely a good exotic to have. Having an extra trip mine grenade charge, as well as increasing the duration, does increase the utility of your grenades on a golden gun or a solar hunter. I don't really use trip mines that much. I tend to use other grenades. Even though the golden gun is my favorite hunter, I just don't find I use these that much. However, if you do like the trip mine grenade, it's a good way to go. And people who get good with the placement on the trip mine grenade in PvE, or PvP, sorry, can be devastating with those things. I wouldn't use these in PvE at all, to be honest with you. Trip mine grenades just don't seem to be all that useful for PvE. These ones come with increased intellect, increased discipline, fastball, impact induction, auto rifle loader, and fusion rifle loader. Next up for the Warlocks, one of the most famous helmets in the game, the Ram. Main perk here is Strength of the Ram. Increased armor. All Voidwalker melees trigger lifesteal on hit. So this is actually a really good helmet. I think it's getting overlooked a little bit lately. It did get nerfed at one point. But getting increased armor in PvP, it can make you survive things that otherwise would have killed you. Trip mines are a good example. Sometimes a trip mine will kill you, but if you're wearing the Ram, you'll get out alive. Also, rockets, proximity detonation on rockets, the Ram can help you survive if you are on the outer edge of that. It can help you win a gunfight, that you might have lost. This is a pretty good helmet. And if you are a Voidwalker, you can select a different perk instead of the one that triggers lifesteal. So it's a pretty good helmet. You don't see it as much as you used to, but it's still worth picking up, and I would definitely grab it. This one comes with increased discipline, increased strength, inverse shadow, second thoughts, and infusion. Next up, our weapon of the week is Red Death. I love this weapon. I still love this weapon, even though it's been nerfed several times. This has had a storied history. It used to be useless like all pulse rifles. Then it got really good, and then it kind of got nerfed to the point where it's not that great anymore. Better in PvE than it is in PvP. The main perk here is each kill heals you and speeds up reloads. Pretty great perk. Problem in PvP is the time to kill just can't keep up with something like a Hawksaw or a Palindrome or an IS Luna. So it's a bit of a liability inside PvP. In PvE, it can't do the damage that some of the newer weapons can. It can't keep up that constant DPS. But I will say this, if you're having trouble staying alive in a specific area, say you're in the Voxus, challenge mode, and you're just having trouble staying alive, the Red Death can help you out tremendously. Every time you get a kill, you get your health back. It really does help. When I bring in new people and they're having trouble staying alive, I'll often ask them if they have a Red Death. Because a lot of times just staying alive is the most important factor for a raid. Even though this thing doesn't do the maximum amount of damage that, something like an Outbreak Prime can do, I'd rather have a live teammate than a dead one. This one also has unflinching, snapshot, high caliber round, single point sling. We also have a legacy engram this week. It's a body armor engram for 29 strange coins. So if you're looking for year 1 body armor, you can go ahead and pick this one up. For weapon ornaments this week, we got the shock hazard for the Zalo Supercell, which actually looks pretty good in my opinion, and the Queen's Command for the Telesta, which also looks very good. Unfortunately, these things are very expensive at 25 silver dust. We have Plasma Drive and Emerald Coil to upgrade your blue rare Sparrow to legendary status and change the color of the contrail. Heavy Ammo Synth, 3 of coins. Glass Needles, which I just constantly am buying this at this point. Re-rolling the new exotics to get higher tier rolls has been very important to me lately. And, I've been going through a lot of Glass Needles doing that. It's basically what I'm using my exotic shards for at this point. In fact, what I'll often do is I'll come here and I'll buy some armor, just dismantle it, and then use that to buy exotic shards, which is crazy. It's a waste of strange coins on a mega scale, but, I really want good rolls on my armor, so that's what it's come to. And, of course, you can get Mosalite here. So, not a very exciting week from Xur. The Red Death is arguably a really good weapon, depending on how you're using it. Again, it can really help you stay alive in some pretty clutch situations. The Takenaut I've really never found a use for. The young Ahamkara's Spine, it's not as good since the Trip Mine Grenades got nerfed. And the Ram is pretty good, but definitely not exciting at this point, it being over a year old. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hit that like button if you liked the video. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I'll see you guys later.